Hello model railroad fans, welcome to Vintage Road and Rail. In today's video we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to be looking at some locomotives from Thomas the Tank Engine. At my local model railroad club, I volunteered some time back to be in charge, if you will, of the Thomas layout that we have. And the Thomas layout is really just kind of geared towards kids. We can break it down and take it to different places, and it has a couple of throttles actually wired up so that the kids can actually control whichever locomotive. We'll have two lines on there so they can control it. One's labeled Thomas and one labeled Percy, but we'll put whatever's on there. But anyway, I've brought in 8 of these locomotives and 5 wagons, I guess you will, and a brake van. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to see which of these are actually running, and just kind of see if we can categorize them, which ones work really well, and which ones don't work. The ones that work really well may just oil them up a little bit, call it a day. The others will probably need some variety of maintenance, and that's one of the responsibilities that I'll have. Being that this is the only ones we've got, I need to really look into us getting a few more. So anyway, what I'm going to do is stop the video right here. I'm going to get this camera mounted up on the tripod, and I'm going to take all of these out and set them on the table here. That way I can get this box out of the way. So we're all set up here, and I've tried to kind of position the camera in such a way that we can see the locomotives we're going to be testing, but more importantly so that when I load them up, I've got right off the edge of the camera my I guess a railer, if you will, little gadget I use to make sure everything gets on the track straight. But I've made it to where we can kind of see around just a little bit, to where that if it moves, we'll go a little bit and we'll back up, because that's the main thing we're out to do, is see what works and what doesn't. But I'm hoping that one of these Thomases will run really well, and if it does, at the end of the video, I'm going to hook it up to these 5 coaches, or not coaches, wagons and this brake van, and we'll see if it can pull those, and then if so, get a little bit of footage of it rolling around the track there. Alright, so let's get started, and we're just going to start at the back here, and how about we just do ladies go first. We'll get Rosie here, and real quick, let's just show Rosie off real quick. There she is. These poor little locomotives, they take a bit of a beating, because like I said at the outset, we have a throttle that kids can use, it like a little shifter, if you will. It goes up and down, and inevitably they get on there and they're up down, and so the locomotive are going to get just start stop, and driving them crazy. And the other thing that's a problem, and which is something I want to address in the near future, is the layout is using 2 DCC controllers, but these are all DC, and really I would like to at some point get that converted over to regular DC. But anyway, let's go ahead and power it on, and let's see if Rosie can work for us here. Oh, she moved. Let's give her a little bump. Okay, she's moving, but she is not happy about it. Alright. So she wants to work, but she's not quite cutting it. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the power off. And we're going to set Rosie in the middle of one that tried to go but didn't. Alright, so let's move next over to Toby. And there's Toby. So let's go ahead and put him on the track. I need to try to remember to put them on so that they're facing forward. So let's load up Toby. And there he is. Let's give him a little power. Oh, he's moving. Well, he's trying to. I hear the motor humming. Alright. Oh, there he goes. All right, so he's got a little bit of life. Yeah, old Toby's running. I'm not going to say that he's running well, but I believe he probably just needs a little bit of a wheel clean and some oiling, and I think he'll be ready to go. All right, so we're going to skip over Percy. Sorry, Percy. And we're going to go over to Duck. I believe it's Duck. Yep, someone was smart enough to put the name on the bottom. This is Duck. So let's make sure my power is set to 0. And let's load Duck up, shall we? And there's Duck. Oh, apparently I had him in reverse, but he moved. Oh yeah, Duck's rolling. Look at that. Let me bring Duck back. Yeah, Duck's working just fine. So we'll move him over there with Toby. I believe all he needs is a little bit of a cleanup and an oiling. And now we're going to move on to Ben, which I have 2 of these. I'm not real sure why we have 2 Bens and not a Bill and a Ben. But some of these have come up missing. Like, I believe it's James. I've got the Gordon. We've got the tender for Gordon, but there's no Gordon. So I don't know if he got lost somewhere along the way or what happened with him. All right, so let's make sure we're off and we're in forward. And let's load up the first bin. And let's see how he runs. Well, he tried to move. There he goes. Oh, Ben was doing okay. All right, so let's see if we can bring him back. Yeah. All right, Ben's working. So let's set him off over here with Duck and Toby. And let's try the second Ben. I'm thinking one of these doesn't work, but no one could remember what worked and what didn't. All right, so let's try this Ben out. Oh no, he's moved. Yeah. Motor's a little noisy. Yeah, but he moved as well. All right, so we're doing pretty good. So far, all of these have got some life in them. It's entirely possible that they're working better on a straight DC layout than they were on the DCC. So I have to kind of keep that in mind, I guess. All right, so now let's move over to Percy. Now, Percy's a little bit different than all of the rest of these because this one is a Hornby locomotive, so this is 00 scale. And the rest of these are all made by Bachmann, which will make them HO scale. So that makes, because Percy's the little engine, but if you look at him, he's a good bit bigger than Thomas is. All right, so let's load him up on the track. Let's see how Percy does. And Percy is hanging up on something. Let's just load him up manually here. All right, nothing so far. Whoa! One is I had it in reverse, and he took off. So let's try that again. And I mean, he wasn't even messing around either. He was gone. All right. Oh yeah, he's flying. We'll bring him all the way around. In fact, let's just make another. I know you can't see it, but oh, I ran off on the siding. All right. Well, this one is working really well. We'll probably just clean up the wheels because they look a little bit dirty. And that'll be that. Maybe check it, make sure it's oiled up and everything. All right, so let's try these 2 Thomases. All right, here's Thomas number 1. Make sure I put that in forward. I keep forgetting. All right, he's working, but he's very slow. And he stopped. See if we can bring him back. Yeah, he's definitely got some issues. All right, so let's take him off the track, put it back and forward, and turn off the power. So it runs, but it doesn't run well. So we'll put him over here with Rosie. And now let's try this last Thomas. Hopefully this one will run pretty good. Yeah, that one's a runner. Let's bring him back. Yeah, that Thomas is running pretty good. All right, so let me come off tripod for a moment. So we got our 8 locomotives, and 2 of them are not running very well. They definitely need a little bit of maintenance. These and this one, they're running pretty good. They could still probably use a little bit of maintenance though, but thankfully all of them worked, so that's a good thing. So get these rascals cleaned up and get them back up to the club and on the layout. That way I'll have them ready for our open house. It'll be coming up soon. Alright, so let's I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video for a moment, and we'll get everything on the track. We'll load these guys up and see if Thomas can pull them. So we got Thomas on the track still, but I decided not to just hook up the cars directly to Thomas. Thought make it just a little bit more interesting since I have these switches right here. So what I've done is I've put 3 here and 3 here, but I've put that soda or fuel tanker in between a couple of, I'm not sure what you want to call them. I would call them gondolas in the US. I'm not real sure what they would be called over in the UK. But figured we'd put that one car there as a buffer between the fuel and these milk tankers. And then we have our brake van. Alright, so let's make sure our switch is thrown. And let's get Thomas in reverse. And let's back him up here. And we're going to pick up Scruffy. This little Thomas is not the most forgiving if your track needs to be cleaned or the joints aren't the best. So let's go forward. So you'll probably see me doing a lot of tapping. And let's pull them out. We're clear of this switch, so let's throw it. And let's go backwards. Reverse. And let's pick up these milk tankers and our brake van. And I think we got them. Alright, so let's pull on out. Take it nice and easy out of the turnout here. Once we're clear, throw the switch, and let's pick up a little speed. And there's our little Thomas. He's running good. Pulling these 6 cars, no problem. Alright. Looking good there, Thomas. Keep old Scruffy in line. Alright, well that's a look at these Thomas the Tank Engine locomotives and cars. So if you enjoyed taking a look at these, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I have some more content coming up. In fact, my next video is going to be a vintage Tyco train set, so keep an eye out for that. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me. Happy model railroading, guys. Take care.